The organisers of human powered vehicle events, or HPVs, rely heavily on volunteer corner marshals. So what we've done here is we've simulated a corner, and we're going to walk through the responsibilities and the procedures that we want corner marshals or flag marshals to follow. Corner marshals are the eyes and ears of the clerk of course, or chief marshal, who is responsible for the safe conduct of the trial. Corner marshals have authority and control over the corner or section of track they are supervising. Corner marshals deal with incidents, communicate with other marshals, and follow the directions of the clerk of course. Marshal points must always have 2 marshals on duty at all times during practice and the trial. 1 for watching, 1 for doing. Vehicles involved in major collisions, rollovers and breakdowns will usually need to be removed from the track. Marshals attending to these vehicles must act cautiously, not rush in. Take your time to monitor safety and risk during the recovery process. At each marshal point, you'll find a box of equipment. Included is your radio for communications, set of flags for signalling the vehicles, return to pit stickers, fire extinguisher, reflective vest and night wand. Also included is the folder which lists this equipment, and you need to report anything that you find missing. You need to also record any incidences that occur in the folder and pass that information on to the next flag marshal. Be alert to any incidents on the track, including poor on-track behaviour and bad language of a rider, and note them in your folder. When you're using your radio for communications, press the button, speak clearly, release the button and listen. At each flag marshal point, you should always have 2 marshals on duty at all times during practice and during the trial. You need to arrive early and familiarise yourself with the corner. Make sure the lights are well positioned so that the riders can see them down the track, and make sure that you stand so that you can see down the track and watch the vehicles as they're coming towards you and towards the corner where they may have an incident. If you have an incident at your corner, a vehicle stops or it crashes, you need to immediately warn the oncoming vehicles, and you flick the light to yellow straight away. Never switch the light to red unless you're instructed to by the clerk of course. This is corner 5, we've got a rollover, we've gone to yellow. The preceding corner may also go to yellow on the advice of the clerk of course. Once you've turned the lights to yellow following an incident, a flag marshal continues to warn the oncoming vehicles with a waved flag and watches for any danger while I assess the situation and then enter the track to deal with the crashed vehicle. There are 3 situations that the corner marshal might typically have to deal with. The first is where the vehicle's crashed, but the vehicle and the rider are okay. So it just needs to return to the pits with a sticker so that it gets checked. The second situation is where the vehicle is damaged, but the rider is okay. So you need to get the rider out of the vehicle and the vehicle off the track. The third situation is where the rider has been injured and shouldn't be moved. In this situation, you need to protect the vehicle using barriers or hay bales and call for St John's, but not move the rider or the vehicle until it's been attended to. So let's have a look at each of those 3 situations now. So while the first flag marshal continues to wave the flag and watch the oncoming traffic, I'm dealing with the vehicle. I make sure it's safe, step through the barriers and check on the rider. Are you all right?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, we'll get you upright as soon as it's clear to do so. Okay, now that you're back up on your wheels, we'll return to pit sticker. That means straight back to the pits so we can check the vehicle for safety.
Okay.
All right, away you go. Never turn my back to the oncoming traffic. Step through. Are you okay?
No, I think the steering's broken.
Yeah, but are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
All right, we'll get you out of there. Okay? All right, can you step out of the vehicle and step across the barriers? Thank you. Now we need to get this vehicle out of here. All right, now we've got the rider out, we need to get this vehicle off the track. Open the barriers. Once the vehicle is off the track, Teams are responsible for recovering their vehicle from a corner, and the RACV recovery vehicle will only be used if absolutely required. Flag marshal is watching down the track, waving the flag. I make sure it's safe. I enter the track, keeping an eye on never turning my back to the traffic. Are you all right? I've got no response here. We need to protect this vehicle and we need to call St John's. Let's move the barriers. Okay. Okay, let's get on the radio to St John's. Riders with significant injuries, disorientation, concussion or trapped in a vehicle must not be moved. Marshals must call for St John's via the Chief Marshal or Clerk of Course, and if needed, St John's will request an ambulance. The Clerk of Course or Chief Marshal will direct corner marshals and take charge of any emergency vehicle access to the site. When the track and barriers have been restored to safe condition following a crash or incident, corner marshals return the traffic lights to green, radio in their corner and state back to green. This will instigate a similar call from the Chief Marshal to the preceding corner. So in summary, marshals are critical in ensuring the safety of the competitors, but they must also be aware of their own safety. So as a result, marshals must always be over 18 years of age. The marshals need to communicate clearly with the Clerk of Course and other corner marshals. Make sure that the marshals and the lights are positioned so they can be seen by the riders. There must always be at least 2 marshals at each flag point, more's better. And the marshals need to stay alert and watch the traffic flow and be aware of the oncoming dangers. Never place yourself at risk. Always be aware of your own safety and don't rush in before you've assessed the situation, and critically never turn your back to the oncoming traffic.